Hello students, are you ready to go on an exciting journey into the world of programming? Well, in this video, I am going to introduce you to one of the most powerful and widely used programming languages in the world, Java programming. So, before let's dive in Java programming, we are going to cover few topics like, what is computer program, what is programming languages and types of computer languages, high-level and low-level computer language, what is syntax, what is translator, what is source code and object code. After learning all those fundamentals of programming, you will easily understand Java programming. So, let's learn. Now, let's talk about computer program. What is computer program? As we all know that a computer cannot perform any task by its own, it needs a set of instructions to perform those tasks. So, a computer program can be defined as a collection of instructions to perform a specific task. Basically, a computer program has some instructions to perform a specific task. Then, what is programming? The process of writing a program to perform a specific task is called program coding or programming. And the person who creates these programs is known as a programmer. Now, let's talk about computer languages. Languages is a means of communication that bridges the gap between individuals and enables them to exchange ideas and feelings. Generally, you use a language like English, Hindi, Bengali to communicate with each other. Like that, to communicate with the computers, we use a variety of languages, known as programming languages. Like any other language, a programming language has its own set of rules that is referred to as syntax. Now, let's talk about different types of computer languages. There are two types of computer languages: low-level language and high-level language. Now, what is low-level language? A low-level language is a programming language that is machine-dependent. A machine-dependent language runs only on one particular type of computer. Basically, it's called machine language. It is the only language understood by the computer. Now, let's talk about high-level language. High-level language is a programming language that enables a programmer to write programs that are machine-independent. Basically, it's a human-readable programming language. They are easy to read, write, and maintain. Examples of high-level languages are C, C++, Java, Python, and many more. Now, what is syntax? Already discussed that, like any other language, a programming language has its own set of rules that is referred to as syntax. Let's talk about language translator. To complete any task, we need programs. Right. So these programs written in high-level language must be translated into machine language by using a translator, like interpreter or compiler. So, how the language translator works? See, when we write anything in high-level language as an input, the language translator translates that into machine language. Just like 6 becomes 01001 using language translator. Now, let's talk about compiler and interpreter. A compiler is a program that translates code written in a high-level language into machine language in one go. It displays the error for the whole program together. And what about interpreter? An interpreter is a program that translates the source code instructions into machine code, line by line. Now, let's talk about source code and object code. A program written in a human-readable form is known as the source code. The program converted by the translator into a code that a computer understands is known as the object code. Just remember, compiler converts the entire source code into machine language at once and displays the errors for the whole program together. And an interpreter is a program that translates the source code instructions into machine code, line by line, and displays the errors for one line at a time. So finally, all those topics are covered. If you have any questions or doubt, please watch this video again from the beginning and write down your comments. Now let's dive in Java programming. Java programming was developed by James Gosling and his team, at Sun Microsystems in 1995. It was acquired by Oracle in 2010. Java is an object-oriented programming language that has truly revolutionized the digital landscape. Now, let's talk about object-oriented programming. What is object-oriented programming language? An object-oriented programming language is an art of separating the program into a number of objects that work together in order to complete the task. So, the basic concept of object-oriented programming languages is to create objects, reuse them throughout the program, and manipulate these objects to get result. Okay, next is, Java programming language is a machine-independent language. It means that a Java program written on a computer will run on any other computer, even if the hardware configuration or the operating system is different. Let's talk about few features of Java. First one is simple. Java has a relatively simple and clearly defined syntax. Second one is case-sensitive. Java is case-sensitive language. In Java, code in small letter and code in capital letter are not the same. They are interpreted differently. Third one is object-oriented. Already covered that the Java supports object-oriented programming concepts of classes and objects. The programs are built around objects that combine both data and functionality. Next one is platform independent. A Java program can run on any platform without making any changes to it, which means that the same program will run on Windows, Linux, Macintosh, etc. Let's talk about concepts of object-oriented programming. The basic concept of object-oriented programming languages is to create objects, reuse them throughout the program, and manipulate these objects to get result. Next, to understand the core concepts of object-oriented programming languages, we have to know about objects and classes. So, let's talk about objects. Objects are real-world entities or items. It can be either non-living entities, such as pen, book, table, chair, car, scooter, calculator, phone, and computer. Or living entities, like dog, cat, and plant, etc. All are objects. Every non-living entities and living entities individual can also be considered as an object. An object is a unique entity with some characteristics and behaviors. An object is a component in the program that knows how to perform certain actions and how to interact with other elements of the program. Next is, real-world objects have two characteristics. They all have state and behavior. Let's understand state and behavior. A pen as an object has its state, such as name, model, color, price, etc. And its behavior or function is writing. Name, model, color, price, those are pen's state. And writing is its behavior or function. Likewise, consider the example of a car. When you describe a car as an object, there are a number of physical factors which contribute to define its state, such as its brand name, color, speed, size, number of seats, etc. In addition, it performs many functions, such as transports people to different locations by controlling its speed and direction, an accelerator to increase or decrease its speed, and brakes to stop it. These functions directly control the car's data, that is the direction, position, and speed. So, while traveling in a car, you need not know how those operations work. To stop a car, you just press the brake pedal. But you may not know how the pedal stops the car. Right. You just know that it works. This clearly depicts that state determines the properties, appearance, and the other qualities of this object, whereas the behavior describes what the object does. It determines the possible operations an object can perform. Now, let's talk about class. A class represents a group of objects of the same kind. In the other words, you can say that the objects are considered as members of a class. A car, bike, bus, truck, etc. are the members of the class vehicle. All the vehicles have the same properties and common behavior. They have wheels, power, engine, and are used for transportation. Basically, a class consists of two aspects, variables and functions. The variables form the state of an object, and the functions of a class use these variables to perform various operations. Once a class is defined, you can create any number of objects belonging to that class that share the common state and behavior. Basically, you can say, a class is known as a factory that produces similar objects. One more thing, always remember, in Java programming, you need to have a class before creating the objects. In the next video we will install BlueJ software to write our first Java code. Then we will understand the structure of a Java program. What is class declaration, what is public, what is main method, etc. And that's a wrap on our first video. Thank you so much, students. I will upload daily basis videos on new topics. What you have to do, just came and watch the video 10 to 15 minutes, then practice it in your PC or laptop for at least 20 minutes. Once again, thank you so much, students. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to join our community of passionate programmers. Until next time, happy coding.